me where no one can find me. There's no sign of life out here. I scream and it goes silent. I fight so hard, but I can't find my way out. Lost all dimension and time. Locking your voice in my mind. And this goes down. It goes
Hey everyone, I'm using my real voice this time because the automated voice just kind of stopped working mid-record. I don't know why. I'm bringing a video of Atlas today. Gonna show some of his builds, his abilities, and how to play him. He's definitely climbed up the ranks throughout the years because of the pseudo-exalted rework. Before all that, you had to use a stat stick, and that just was really complicated. Even I didn't really use him. He was my first prime frame. But he was really underwhelming, and no one really made guides on him because he's not a popular character. So here I am. But fast forward 2025 and he's doing millions and millions of damage. He's definitely one of the better health tanks in the game, and just overall tankiness is his thing. So I have one singular build that I've been stress testing for like the past week, ready to show y'all. I did showcase this build in one of my last videos / shorts that I made about the All Might if he was Atlas. I just thought it would be cool to fashion him up as All Might, I'm not gonna lie. But today I'm gonna be showing the full build. Please do make sure you subscribe if you want to see more, and let's get right into it. First, let's show his abilities. His passive is basically just prime sure-footed. He cannot be knocked down if he is standing up, but if you do go in the air, you will be knocked down. His second passive grants him armor drops when he kills an enemy who is petrified by his third ability. This increases overall tankiness and survivability. As I stated before, Atlas is not a pebble, he is a mountain. You cannot move him. Now onto his first ability, Landslide, which is a 3-punching combo. This ability is by far the best ability in his kit, and actually, I would actually put it up with the top exalted weapons. It's a 3-punching combo that gives you 20 combo count per punch. And it has an AoE that increases with every punch. The first punch being 4 meters, the second punch being 6, and the third being 8. Landslide has 2 augment mods. One being very good, and the other being, eh. The first of 2 is Rubble Heap. Remember that armor I was talking about? When you have above 1400 armor, you'll deal 2 times damage, Landslide costs no energy, and you'll travel 2 times faster. Yo, they're actually doing it. He can't be that good. He loves him. Oh my god, 3 buffs? That's 3 buffs in 1 augment mod. Excuse me, 3 necessary buffs in 1 augment mod. Efficiency, damage, and casting speed? What more could you ask for? His next augment, Path to Statues, petrifies enemies behind him, basically, who are just in the way of him going to punch someone. Okay, so if they're behind him, they're getting petrified. They're standing still. That's pretty much it. Nothing much more to that than like anything else. I don't know. Now, just by my brief description of his augments, you probably think Atlas is balling right now. If only a Warframe was one ability. His second ability. I don't even know what to say for this ability. It's just that bad. Yep, that's it right there. Right there. Did you catch it? Let's replay it. Do you see what I'm seeing? Do you see what I'm seeing? A wall. A damn wall. Nothing special about this wall either. Oh wait, hold on. Actually, there is. It rolls like a bowling ball. Does nothing. And the augment? Oh my god. It's a wall that creates more walls. Actually, it creates 3 walls, but they can't roll anymore. If you want to have fun with Atlas, replace this ability with anything in the world. Anything. I don't care if you put pillage on Atlas. Replace it. God, it just makes me so like angry. Doctor, he's awake. Is he ranting again? Who even cleared this ability? This ability. He's not even talking about anything. Does he know we can't hear him? There's no way. I think he's muted. Sorry, mute it off. Anyway, let's move on to our third ability. Let's move on to the third ability. An actual good ability. Petrify. This and Landslide is like your bread and butter. I mean, these guys go together like peanut butter and jelly. Go in and petrify your enemies, stun them, and then you punch them. Enemies killed by Landslide while petrified will drop the rubble and give you extra armor. Peak synergy if you ask me. Does have an augment. Petrified enemies are scanned into the codex and they have additional drop chance. Not bad augment. Just very specific. Now to his final ability, Rumblers, also known as Beavis and Butthead. This ability is better than the wall, but just as bad. On paper, you spawn 2 AI bots who don't know what they're doing and they just go around punching stuff. That's not bad, considering, you know, some damage is off of you, but they're still pretty bad. I normally spawn them in just to take some damage off of me for the time being, so that I don't die. It does have a decent augment. I have not tested it out for myself, but on paper it sounds pretty good. Spawn one in that has 300% more health and does 400% more damage, and you reactivate the ability again to slam everyone around him. Now I learned from a comment yesterday that the rumblers take from your stats on your landslide fist and mods and stuff. I don't know if that's completely true, but I think it's definitely possible. Atlas does have another augment for rumblers. Turn yourself into rumble to take more damage up to 300% of your maximum health, and you gain overguard. Not bad. I think it's probably a newer augment because of the overguard changes, but overall, it's not even a bad augment. Atlas himself doesn't even have that many bad augments. Only just one terrible, terrible move. But for the builds today, I'm only going to be using one augment, and that is Rubble Heap. That augment is game changing, I'm not going to lie. Times 2 more damage, yeah, sign me up. We went over his abilities. Let's go over how to actually use him and how to play him in a real situation. To begin with, I'm using 5 Crimson Archon shards, all including plus melee critical damage, which is going to bring us to a final multiplier of 8 times. Archon shards are honestly up to you if you want to use Tau Forge or regular, or if you don't want to use any melee damage additives at all. You can put in whatever you like, whatever suits you. For example, if you don't have the augment Rubble Heap, Atlas does struggle a lot of energy. So you could put in more blue shards to increase his energy pool, or you could put some efficiency shards. And since Atlas does struggle with energy, the subsume of choice is going to be Lycaf's Hunt from Varuna. On headshot kills, enemies will drop an energy orb, and on melee kills, enemies will drop a health orb. And if an enemy is killed with more than 5 status effects, it's going to increase the duration of the ability. Now, Atlas' survivability is very good, so we won't be using many survivability mods on the build because he already has the 1500 bonus armor from his passive, and he already has a pretty big health pool. I've seen YouTubers use all 3 Umbra mods, but I'm only going to be using 2 because Umbra Fiber to me is kind of useless. Not on Atlas, it can be useful on Atlas but he already has a pretty big armor pool concerning his passive, and when he starts up, he has like a lot of armor already. So that is just not necessary to me. So I'm only going to be using Umbra Intensify and Umbra Vitality. For this build to work, you will need a primer.
A primer? What?
I know. Primers aren't my favorite thing either, but it's worth it in the long run when you can sustain yourself with energy. Even in the beginning of the round, you need that energy, that sustainability. I'm using the Epitaph because it's literally the only one I have. I don't have many primers. I only have the Epitaph with me. I'm not gonna use I have the prime, but I just never ranked it up. I'm just gonna use the regular Epitaph. Without further ado, let's finally get into what you're waiting for, the builds. I got the Epitaph build, I got the Atlas build, and I got the Landside build. You can choose whatever companion you want, but if you really do choose a companion, I think you should go a Kavat with like those mods that buff your melee damage and melee chance, critical chance. I don't know which one, but I just recommend those ones because I'm not even using a Kavat or any companion in this video. Alright, here's the first build, the Atlas Prime. We have Steel Charge and Aura Swap, Umbra Intensify and Umbra Vitality, Equilibrium because of Varuna's Lycaf's Hunt, which is going to be dropping energy and health orbs. So you're going to get energy regardless if it's a health orb drop or if it's an energy orb drop. Adaptation instead of Rolling Guard because 90% damage reduction is great for health tanking. Transient Fortitude for the extra strength, and Prime Continuity to even out the negative from Transient Fortitude. And finally, Rubble Heap, the augment. In the Arcanes, I have Most Augmented and Arcane Fury for more melee damage. Honestly, if you have it, you can go ahead and use Arcane Energize, but again, like I said, already deals with the energy problem, so I'm using Arcane Fury and Melt Augmented. And for the Landslide Fist build, I have Galvanized Steel for critical chance, Vicious Frost and Virulent Scorch, and North Wind for viral damage, Sacrificial Pressure for just overall damage, Gladiator Might for the added critical chance when you will go up in combo count and critical damage, Organ Shadow for critical damage, and Blood Rush for critical chance. Melee Exposure because you are going to be doing like a little like succession of hits every single time. You're not going to really like go over your melee, so that additive corrosive damage is going to be great. If you want to use melee influence, go ahead, but if you already have a lot of range on your Atlas, which this specific build doesn't have that much range, so I would technically put melee influence, but it doesn't matter. If you have a lot of range, you're already going to be clearing rooms, so melee influence is not needed. And last but not least, our Epitaph Primer build. There's just a bunch of status effects, Spirit Diffusion, Viral. I have Radiation, I have Regular, Puncture, Impact Slash, because that's already what it comes with it. So that's 5 status effects already. So you should pretty much be good. And you're going to have amazing sustainability, you're going to have amazing damage, and you're going to have amazing survivability. But that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe, as this is a new channel I'm trying to grow. Well, really not trying to grow, but you know, trying to build a community around and post my builds that I make. I make builds like every single week, so I'll let you guys know. I'll probably post a video. But yeah, please leave a like and subscribe, turn notifications on, and yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.
It goes down.